Conservation, Sustainability, and Green Initiatives Committee to order. I know it's a little early, but we've got a healthy quorum, so we might as well get started. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes? Second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, first item is of previous business, the resolution number 180, public hearing on proposed local law. Jay?
I'm going to table 1 and 2.
Okay, all right. Resolution number, item number 3, resolution number 337. update-
Table that also, please.
What? All right. We're moving, gang. All right, under current business, resolution number 120, public hearing on proposed local law number D for 2019. That is that's the plastic bag bill. Is there any discussion on the public hearing?
We're actually gonna do that?
Excuse me?
I said we're actually gonna have a public hearing on that? Hand in the bag, we're really gonna think seriously
not?
about doing that?
Sure.
Why wouldn't we
Well,
Don't we have to have a public
at least have a
hearing on
public?
every law?
Just for the members
Well,
of
you have the
the,
public hearing, but I mean, it's one of our ridiculous things we do, that's all.
Well,
My
let's be
opinion-
consistent then.
just for the members of the committee, sorry,
Consistent,
Gary.
that's for sure.
There are, and I already told Mr. Reinhardt this, there are a number of issues that need to be worked out with this law, so if it goes forward tonight, the committee should be aware that it'll likely come back, given the issues that exist with it. So that's something you should be aware of if you decide to move it out tonight.
I'll just wait till all the issues
So
are
you're
done.
advising us to table it, right, Counselor?
My advice is be aware that it's gonna come back to you
I
if
mean,
you
you
move
must,
it out.
if you're gonna fix it, you should
Right.
fix it.
I make a motion, we table it.
Could I make a comment?
Yeah.
I think, I've heard a lot of input from constituents on this, both, people who are for it, but also people who have, some criticisms or some concerns. So I think it would be good to hear from the public before, if we're changing it, I think that would be, beneficial for us to hear what their concerns are.
Well, my concern is if it doesn't meet the law, why put it out there and stall time and waste time on such an important issue? I feel it's very important, let's not put it out there knowing that it could be defeated. Let's not waste the legislature's time and the public time coming down to a public hearing that we know has deficiencies.
Well, I don't think we're talking about it being defeated. I think we're only talking about the public hearing. I'd like to suggest that there might be reason to have more than one chance for the public to comment on it.
I think some of the issues on it sounds like, I don't know the legal issues, but it sounds like some of the issues on it might be things the public might weigh in on, like whether or not it's a fee or a ban, those types of things.
So-
I expect that will happen.
So
Yeah.
there are legal deficiencies,
Yeah.
deficiencies with it as it stands now. I mean,
Okay.
the public may comment on those, I can't opine on that, but, I expected Ms. Cunningham to be here this evening so that I could discuss some of this beforehand. There are,
And we do have a public hearing before our meetings for the public to speak on
Hey, they
that.
can skip that. So I have a question on this.
Yeah.
The public hearing part, I certainly support. I'd like to hear what the public has to say.
We all do.
I have no problem with that. The sponsor's not here, so I don't know if
Well, I've been designated as the sponsor for the evening, I guess.
is that something we're doing now? I just so
we
we know
passed-
in the future.
so if you recall, Mr. Demolich, we passed a resolution last year, which was a prime sponsor resolution, which allowed
Okay, and so anybody on it?
It allows a designation of an alternate sponsor if the initial sponsor can't appear. The council of the chair has shown me that designation, so Mr. Reiner.
That's fine, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. At one time, we used to have it where any sponsor on it could act on that time, be on that. Well, my concerns on it is the fee. The charge 5 cents is, to me, is not good. It's not good for the taxpayers of Albany County. It's another tax. And I'm told, and I heard you say this, that the fee actually incentivizes people to bring more of their own bags to
Yeah,
the store.
that's
what
really the
fee
difference
does.
between the
But I-
ban and the ban plus fee.
I look at it the other way. Why don't the stores incentivize the consumer, instead of giving you 3 cents for every bag you bring, give me 20 cents or 25 cents. Now, all of a sudden, I'm incentivized to not to use the plastic and the paper, and I'm gonna bring my own bag, instead of having me to pay for it, and those corporations get to keep the 5 cents. So they're, you know, that, to me, I got a real problem with that. Other than that, I have no problem with the bill. And so, because the state's probably gonna pass it before we get to it anyway. You know, if you table this, it will,
Well,
they will
yeah,
pass it.
Who knows?
What's in the budget?
We hope so,
It's in the-
Who knows what the state's gonna do? in
Well,
about
according
a
to,
week or
it's in the
so.
budget. You know, if they pass the budget on Tuesday or Monday, whenever they do it, they're gonna beat us, and it's already gonna be
Yeah.
done.
Travis.
I would support Gil's motion.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
seconding
Second one.
Gil's.
And also
Okay,
my
so
motion, I
this
don't,
is a motion to table the public hearing.
yes, I want to table till we get further legal, from legal advice, and also I don't think this is an urgent issue with the vast majority of Albany County residents. And I think it's something that it's going to be done, unfortunate to the people, what the state decided. Why penalize Albany County residents?
Well, you know,
I realize there's other people like it too.
we're really only talking about the public hearing right now.
Yeah, well,
We're
the
not
public hearing,
really
there's
having
nothing
to-
wrong with public
But
hearings.
the problem is, the
There's no
public
public
hearing,
hearing.
once you have the public hearing and a substantial change is made to the bill,
We're back
you have to
again.
have another public hearing. So you might as well make the changes now and just do the one public hearing and save the taxpayers a few dollars.
Yeah. Before we vote on this motion, is there anyone else who wants to make a comment?
As the sponsor, I'm curious what you plan to do.
Well, you know, I want to hear as much public comment as possible. On the other hand, Frank is right, that at any session, people can come and speak. So we're going to have an official public hearing on this bill after we get, you know, whatever changes legally we make or whatever come along through the process. So there will be that chance. My feeling is, if you look at other bills that have been of great public interest, and I frankly think this is one, just like the polystyrene bill, just like paid sick leave, we have many times where people will come and testify before us, you know, before we start our meeting. So I'm not really concerned that there's not going to be a chance for people to comment. The last thing I would want to say is, if, Peter, would you like to say anything just right now on how you feel about it? I know how you generally feel
I
about it.
generally don't like
We don't,
this comment in a committee.
All right, okay.
Can we get to my motion? So with-
motion and second it.
Okay, all right.
I made the motion, second, can we take a vote and get it out of the way
Sure.
one way or the other?
All in favor of tabling the public hearing?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
I'll be an aye, so that's,
Can you raise your hands for
Yeah,
those
yeah.
in favor of it?
These were opposed.
it's,
Good.
how many? 5? 5 table.
5-2?
Okay, table by committee.
Let's get it right the first time.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Famous last words. Conceptually, it's a great idea.
I disagree with that.
Thank you.
What, getting it right the first time?
Oh, it's a great idea.
Oh. Well, yeah, you two can talk about that.
So that means number 6 will be tabled.
Yeah, it will. It has to be. Yeah. Okay, item number 5, resolution number 123, a resolution to establish Albany County as a pollinator-friendly municipality.
Start early.
Now, this, do we have to have a public hearing on this?
No, it's a resolution.
All right. Does anybody want to make a comment on this?
What is it? What is this?
Good question.
Right here.
Doug, what is this?
What is it, Doug? It's one of yours?
Doug, would you like to say a
Butterflies
few
or
words?
something? I see butterflies.
It's not, butterfly. What we're gonna do is establish plants, host plants and nectar plants around the county, along county roads, parks, and facilities during maintenance, no extra cost. Albany County take measures to restore and increase habitat to include native plants through successive blooming aiming for pollen and nectar along county roads, wherever roads are reconstructed or repaved. We'll conduct an inventory of all pesticides, including neonicotinoid pesticides, which are very toxic. County will publish guides to pollinator hosts and nectar plants native to this region for gardeners to refer to, and local neonicotinoid free organic farms and community-supported agricultural greenhouses. And the county will encourage municipalities within the county to adopt conservation easement ordinances allowing for possible reduction of property taxes in exchange for conservation easement access. And the county will encourage local educators to teach about host plants and nectar plants and promote the establishment of pollinator gardens through schools in the community. This is important because we're losing our population of bees, insects. They're being exterminated by global warming. We have a real problem here to restore it. You've all heard about the butterflies being almost near extinction with the, especially with the monarch butterflies. So I think it's important that we do it. The cost is minimal, if anything. I think it's going to add to our county maintenance and our county upkeep and our county reconstruction along county properties.
Who's gonna do this, the county workers?
Yes, all in-house.
Where do you get the plants? Who's gonna pay for the plants?
We go through the Cornell.
Cornell, they have these plants for us?
They have these plants. We've already researched that.
And they're
Soil
gonna
and
do us-
Water Conservation District has them,
They have them
working with
too?
the state pollinator task force. So they,
The information is really already available from various sources, so
The plants.
the plants, what seeds to use, how to plant. There are
I'm more concerned
programs
about
like
the
this
plants and the
elsewhere.
county workers plant, the cost to it, because there's no financial impact with this resolution. So.
Wait, I'm sorry, start with, what did you say that?
There's no financial impact with this resolution if the county, someone's got to pay for the plants. Unless Cooperative Extension's given us the plants.
Well, I think the point is that they already do this.
Okay.
The county already has to go in and
Okay.
reseed and do things. The only point here is to use the identified seeds and plants that
Along county
enhance
property.
the pollinator population.
And we're doing it now.
We're planting, we're not necessarily.
planting these
we're not-
plants.
Yeah, we're not necessarily doing an optimal job of what we plant.
What did the commissioner say about it?
The commissioner, I don't know. Doug, have you talked?
Cornell Cooperative, what did they say about it?
we got positive response, but I don't know what the commissioner said, and I can go back and ask.
I
I'm sorry. I
cannot
didn't-
see Cornell being against this.
No, they support it. I mean, from the Master Gardeners Program supports it. They're the ones who wanted to talk to us.
All right, listen, we need to follow our protocol.
Well, I'm concerned about the Commissioner of Public Works. How does he feel about his employee, or she?
Lynn, do you have something to say?
I just want to say that also it's an aesthetic addition, because all these plants bloom, which is what attracts the bees and, the butterflies, and it's going to enhance the, driving through the countryside and driving along the county roads, and I think it will also do that in a positive way, rather than just not only help the bees, it helps the people as well, and the air, and, grass is great, but, it really doesn't serve much purpose, but, pollinating flowers are helpful.
Yeah.
Just, a number of the minority members have read this. This resolution reads that there are affirmative acts to be taken on by the county, and it reads like they are new acts. This is not something that's currently occurring. And the question came up exactly to Mr. Demalowitz's issue. There is no financial impact statement, which is required, so we can't tell from, at least my members haven't been able to tell if this is simply, I'm planting this flower as opposed to this one, or is it a new action and a new impact from a financial perspective? And I'm not saying people are against it, but they can't do the analysis because it's not there. So I know that there are members of the minority caucus that would like to see the financial analysis, maybe a little bit further description. It seems like if this is already occurring, and that's fine, but it doesn't come across in the resolution as it's currently written.
Doug, I've got a question. If you can't answer it, that's fine. This is something we could answer later if we have to, but could we be clear on, for the different actions that are called out in the bill, we specify who is going to do those actions, and then that would be a way to address the issue of, is this an added cost for DPW or for some other part of the county government? And, you know, find out if it's basically, we're going to plant this set of seeds instead of this set of seeds. And who's going to do the planting? Can we be specific about those tasks, who's going to do them? And if they're already being done or not?
Well, they're not already being done, but it would be up to the specific department in the county. Whoever is in charge of the roads, is ever in charge of the parks, cooperative extension, whatever. So, you know, we haven't got those estimates, but it's my understanding that it's not going to be a cost to the county. It's just going to be incurred within the regular maintenance that the county performs on these properties.
It's a cost.
Of course.
It's a cost. Our people have to work
Do
longer
regular
hours.
maintenance, we're not talking about an increased cost here. We're talking about the cost of maintenance.
So what you're really doing is setting a policy on what kind of plants you want it planted on the parks and along the roadway. Basically, that's what you're doing. Because everything else is already being done, incorporated by the county, DPW or parks, right? That's pretty much what you're doing.
And there is information everywhere, really, if you look for it, about what are the things you plant to encourage the bees and the pollinators. I do want to add, though, that this is not just an aesthetic thing. I mean, Lynn, you're right, there are aesthetics involved here. But, you know, if agriculture doesn't work, we all have problems. And that's really where the pollination comes in, is that pollination is how a lot of our crops grow. So this
Hey, no
really
farms,
isn't a
no
small
food.
issue.
That's right.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Right on the back of my car.
Residents have tried to raise bees in the localities, the municipalities come in, and there's laws on the book saying that that cannot be done. Now, is this going to conflict with the city of Albany, maybe?
No,
How
no.
about the residents?
No, nobody's setting up a bee colony in their yard, which is kind of the issue in a residential zoned area.
This could be outside on the roadway of the residents.
No, we're not creating the hive.
Oh, you're not.
No, all we're doing is we're creating the food source and an environment that is friendly to them. They'll figure out where to put their hive.
The Thruway does that now, if you drive along,
Yeah,
they have those natural, things in with the flowers and everything.
yeah, Travis.
I'd like to make a motion, we table till we get a
Wait,
financial impact.
your name's not Travis.
Well,
I didn't hear you say Travis.
I will second Mr. Ethier's motion.
I would like,
That being said, I would simply ask the financial impact be provided, as well as if DPW, if it's a change to something that they're doing or not doing, it'd be nice to have them here to speak to it, have that department speak to it, that's all.
Okay.
I think it's a wonderful idea, I really do, Doug, I think it's one of your better ones. But I really-
what's the threshold for a financial impact statement? Is it $5,000? It seems like that this would not require a fiscal impact statement. That doesn't seem reasonable that it would cost over $5,000.
Still
Well,
money
you don't know-
belongs to the
You don't know
taxpayers.
what the labor cost might be.
You never really know on any resolution, but we don't really have a real clear process. It's, I think, up to the sponsor to decide.
With due respect to the members of the committee, those answers can be obtained by bringing the commissioners in and
Yeah.
asking them directly. So
That
that
was
is,
my
From my
suggestion.
experience, it's difficult to get a clear answer, but it can be done.
Wait, you mean an answer on the cost from
What I'm-
Lisa, or you mean?
what I'm saying is it would be prudent for the committee to request the commissioners to come in and answer these specific questions, so that you can have tangible answers before you move forward.
Go ahead.
Okay. Are
that's
you
the way to
okay
do
with
it.
that, Doug?
Yes.
I think that's a good idea.
So is that a motion tabled by sponsor?
Is
Well, I
it-
gotta know, the first
Doug, are
motion
you
out by
agreeing?
me, I got the first
Okay.
motion on the floor.
Yeah, he did, but if Doug's willing to table it,
Well, I don't-
With the condition that table with the condition that the commissioners.
Gil, are you willing to withdraw your motion if he's tabling it?
Well, I don't know what he's, I don't, I gotta,
Table with the condition that the commissioners appear before the committee, the DPW, commissioner and any other commissioner.
Could they have a written
Come in.
statement, or do they?
Come before you.
Oh, no written statement.
Next time.
All right.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll go, I'll
Council
withdraw
says
on the
we can do
condition.
that.
Hold
So
on,
let's-
Go ahead.
Gil, do you withdraw your motion?
Yes,
on
I
that?
do, under them conditions, yes.
Okay.
Doug has seen the white, yes.
Okay. All right,
All right.
Okay?
so table.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Item,
We gotta vote on this.
No, you don't.
no, we don't, not if it's sponsored. Okay, all right, item 6. Yeah, we have to table that. 7, public hearing on proposed modifications to agricultural districts 1, 2, and 3.
Motion to move.
Aye.
Well, do
You
you have
really
anything
can't
you want
change
to add,
anything.
Lana?
No, just as part of our annual review process, we need to
I was with you
set a
there.
public hearing to consider the modifications, or the additions to any of the agricultural districts.
Does anyone have any questions of Laura on the additions or subtractions?
Motion to move.
Motion to move it.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Item 8, adopting proposed modifications to agricultural district number 3.
We're finally at the end of the review of the 8-year review of agricultural district number 3, after a brief delay in the public hearing due to the storm. Having the public hearing completed, we'll now send the recommendations for modifications to Ag and Markets for approval by the commissioner.
Any questions? I have a motion.
Motion.
Second? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Frank?
Thank you,
Aye.
Bill.